You need to understand how serious this moment is. The Pentagon has just revoked the press credentials of nearly every single member of the media who worked there. Right now, it is October 15th, almost 6 p.m. Nearly every single journalist working at the Pentagon has had their credentials revoked. They can't enter the building. They can't do their jobs. Why? Well, Pete Hegseth said you have to sign a pledge saying that all of your stories are going to be approved, okay? You can only report what we tell you. And every single network, even Fox and Newsmax, said, no, we're not doing that. The only one that agreed was OAN, One America News. That is the only press company, journalist in the Pentagon right now. There is no functioning press pool at the Pentagon. I'm not sure how old all y'all are who are coming across this video, but I remember on September 11th, watching NBC News coverage, and Jim Miklaszewski said, Katie, I don't want to alarm anybody, but there seems to be something going on. I felt the whole building shake at the Pentagon. That kind of live reporting would not be allowed to happen now. Not without the approval of Pete Hegseth. And now there's no journalist to actually report what's going on. This is straight out of dictatorship, fascism 101, guys. This is the playbook, controlling the narrative, controlling the media. And if you think this is fear-mongering, and if you think this is rage baiting and you're crazy, Mia. No, we've seen this before. We have seen this time after time, regime after regime, whether it's Germany in the 1930s, whether it's Argentina in the 50s and 60s, Russia now. This is where we are in the United States of America. No longer the land of the free, but hopefully still of the brave.
How are you guys liking Craig Tipper? How are you guys liking Craig Tipper?
Craig. It should be. It is everybody on there. River.
Hold your health up top.
Depending on which way we go.
How are you guys liking Craig Tipper?
Sorry to interrupt the photos.
Oh, you're good.
Quite some time.
I'm sure a few centuries.
We stay in touch, okay?
Yes, take it easy.
Guys, so something has been happening in the Pentagon. Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, and all credit goes to the creators in these videos. And guys, in today's video, a lot of reporters have left the Pentagon, and these are not small-time journalists. Some of the most respected names in American news. Reporters from places like the New York Times, Fox News have packed up their things and walked out of the Pentagon newsroom. Why? Because the US Department of Defense gave them a document to sign. That's just explaining it in a very simple way. A document that will limit what they can say and how freely they can report. Now, the Pentagon said it was a, in quotes, new press access policy, but to many of these journalists, it looked just like a gag order, because the paper basically told them that they could not report on any unauthorized information, in quotes, even if it wasn't a secret or classified information. And it also warned that their press badges, like their right to enter and ask questions, can be taken away if they broke those rules. And guys, many reporters refused to sign. And they said that this kind of control does not belong in a free country. So, what they did, one by one, they left their desk, they turned in their badges, and they walked out of the building. I love it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's see what these other creators have to say.
After putting out new media regulations, the only news outlet that will now go inside the Pentagon is One America. Every single news organization that wanted to continue reporting on what's going on inside the Pentagon had to sign what they called a pledge. This new pledge limited where reporters could go within the building and used language that appeared to threaten removing access to these reporters if they didn't ask or release information that was pre-approved. Dozens of outlets and a lot of players that you would imagine, like the New York Times, didn't want to sign this pledge. But what I find very interesting is that this pledge was too Like, it had gone too far past the line that they had drawn for Fox News. In a joint statement, Fox News said that it threatens core journalistic protections. The exact quote that really stuck out that a lot of the news outlets were talking about was this one. It goes, "Information must be approved for public release by an appropriate authorizing official before it is released, even if it is unclassified."
The Pentagon has fallen. Today is a sad day. Many reporters handed in their badges and walked away from the Pentagon for the very last. They will no longer be allowed access because they refused to sign the 17-page agreement that Hegseth wanted them to sign, saying that they were not going to be reporting any news from the Pentagon that has not been approved by him or by an authorizing person. It is a sad day for this country. If you don't understand what this means, then I feel sorry for you. It is a very scary time for this country. That's one down. And this is happening so fast. To the reporters that walked away and refused to sign the paper, thank you. Thank you. You may not think that you are making a difference, but that is a huge statement because it means that you will not capitulate. We need people like you. Thank you, Aaron Parnas. Thank you for your integrity and for your steadfastness and for your unwillingness to capitulate. Even though when I see your face on my screen, I know I need to pour myself a glass of wine because it's going to be something. But thank you for everything that you are doing. You and all of the independent reporters out there.
Guys, at first I thought it was another maybe fight between the media and the government. But the more I read, the more serious it seems, because these reporters are not just being dramatic. They are standing up for something important. Now, the Pentagon has always been a place where journalists could, question power, ask tough questions about war, about budgets. Now, this is what freedom of press is supposed to mean. They are supposed to be able to ask things without shaking, without wavering. But now, with this new rule, it feels like the government is trying to control the story. They are trying to control the narrative, because reporters said signing that paper will turn them into mouthpieces instead of watchdogs. I mean, one journalist even said, and I quote, "If I have to ask permission to tell the truth, then it's not journalism," end of quote. And other people said that it just felt like intimidation. It felt like a way to silence voices that might reveal uncomfortable truths. And social media is divided because many people are saying that the Pentagon is protecting national security, and the other side is saying that this is not national security, it's a dangerous step towards censorship. And this is a move that weakens democracy itself, guys. I agree with the latter, because the truth is that we cannot have accountability if those in power are controlling what the public gets to know. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you agree with me? Let's see what these other creators have to say.
I don't think you realize how big of a deal it is that right-wing news outlets are siding with the left-wing news outlets to give up their press passes, because Pete Hegseth's new Pentagon press policy is the literal definition of censorship. Let me explain. There's a lot of restrictions that come with this policy. So if the press signs it, they are no longer allowed to release any information that is not authorized by the government first, even if it's unclassified information. They're also not allowed to walk around the Pentagon anymore, and previous accessible areas are now off limits and require an escort. And of course, Pete Hegseth goes onto Twitter and tries to give the fast facts of the credentials for dummies by saying that the press is no longer allowed to roam free, that they have to wear badges to show that they're press, and that credentialed press officials are no longer allowed to solicit criminal acts. In perfect Trump cabinet fashion, these are all lies. First off, they've never been allowed to roam free around the Pentagon. There are classified areas and classified workspaces that they do not have access to, and they've never had access to. Second, they wear badges. They've been wearing badges for decades. That's how they get in the building. That's how they get their clearance. Third, any information you provide at the press briefing is and should be available to the public. If you don't want it available to the public, don't bring it to the press briefing. This is the most recent unofficial list of the news outlets that are agreeing or disagreeing with this policy. You'll notice that there's only one so far that is agreed, and on the disagreed side, there's Newsmax and the Washington Times, next to Reuters, the Associated Press, and the Guardian. This is censorship. Government-approved news reporting is what people have accused China and North Korea of doing for decades. And now we're here. Despite what Pete Hegseth may say about this being an attempt to protect the military and their information, we clearly know what this is and what the Trump administration is trying to do.
Pete Hegseth is basically trying to make every news outlet in the country sign a loyalty pledge to him. Now, historically, the Department of Defense, because it's the largest employer in the country and uses almost $1 trillion in taxpayer money every year, journalists were allowed pretty broad access to the Pentagon so they could provide transparent reporting to the American people on how that money was being spent and how the Department of Defense was conducting itself. However, due to Hegseth's incompetence and the mounting scandals we've seen at the Pentagon this year, he created this new policy that basically said before any new information was published by journalists, it had to get cleared by Hegseth first. That is not flying with news organizations, and none of them, except for the right-wing One America News Network, has signed on to this new policy. Even Fox News said no to it. So that just goes to show that this isn't the media's fault. This is people realizing this is a pretty clear crackdown on transparency and free speech. And look, whether Hegseth likes it or not, those leaks are going to get out because people are not going to sit by and let his, incompetence ruin the reputation of the Department of Defense and the Pentagon. So good luck to him.
Guys, watching all this unfold just makes me so uneasy, because if the press cannot report freely from the Pentagon, I mean one of the most powerful institutions in the world, what's next? Who will hold leaders accountable when the press is silenced by mere paperwork? And it's not just about reporters losing their office space, it's about the public losing its right to know the truth, because it's about trust, and that trust is breaking. People are speaking up, saying that this move goes against the very idea of America. Veterans, former officials, ordinary citizens, many people are saying that this is so wrong, because they say that transparency is part of national strength and it's not a threat. And I feel the same, because you don't protect freedom by hiding information, right? You protect it by facing the truth. And that means even when it is uncomfortable, guys. This image of reporters leaving, walking out of the Pentagon, leaving their press cards behind on empty desks, it feels powerful, because it looks like a quiet kind of protest, but it speaks volume, guys. And it speaks like they would rather lose their access card than lose their integrity. Guys, I don't know what you think, but I feel that that's another level of courage, and that is what America needs, right? A reminder that the truth still matters, even if it's, costs something. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. Let me know what you think about this move. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.